Welcome back to another weekly stock market update. Hope you're having a great week. It is a green week for most of the people in my mastermind group, and I hope it's a green week for you too. But if you're checking in here, you probably want to know what I'm thinking about the market, and I don't know if they're right or wrong, but I'll give you my thoughts. Like I said, I hope you're taking advantage of this green market. We haven't had a really great market like this in a while. The Fed, as you know, is lowering rates, and that is helping this market go higher. So let's see if I can get us going here. Go. All right, let's go back here. All right, whoops. All right, so we got 4 green lights. That means green is go. That means the market's trends are up. We're hitting all-time highs on the major indexes, most of them. Let's take a look. So what we're showing here, by the way, there's the 4 green lights. What we're showing here is the NASDAQ here. So you can see the NASDAQ is not at its all-time highs. It actually went up to this swing point of 18,017 and rejected it. And now it's coming back to fill in that little gap. They put that little red line in there to fill in that little gap. I suspect it fills it today. And then it goes up, and then it fills that other one where I drew that long red line up over 18,000. Once it fills that gap, now 18,671 is in play. So it wants to take that out because the Fed is now printing more money, easing rates, both, however you want to look at it. There's more money going to be sloshing around into assets. And so you've got to be in assets and stocks, Bitcoin, gold, real estate, assets, maybe not bonds, but bonds are going to go up too. So anyway, but just be careful out there because anything could change. But right now, this is what it looks like. Let's take a look. Let's go to the S&P 500. Look at that, all-time high. It's off it today, but the S&P 500 looks different from the NASDAQ. So the S&P 500 is, I think, the leading index here, and the NASDAQ is a lagging index. We'll see which one does confluence with the other one. New York Stock Exchange, all-time high on good volume yesterday, off that today. Same thing. Dow Jones Industrial, all-time high yesterday, good volume, off it today. So we got 3 out of the 4 major indexes that I look at, all hitting all-time highs yesterday, all button up against the top. The only one that's not is the NASDAQ, and I suspect that's because NVIDIA's down and maybe Apple's not at its all-time high. And there's a few other stocks that are kind of, recovering, Amazon, and I'll show you maybe if I get a couple of minutes here to show you those charts. But let's take a look. This is the VIX, the volatility index. It's down below the 50-day moving average, which means money's moving off the sidelines and into the stock market. And then here's the transport. This is interesting today because the transport kind of says what's going to happen maybe in the regular Dow Jones Industrial. It's a Dow theory. And so when the transports are down, and it's down 3.5% today, that's a pretty big, ugly candle right there on the transports. Something's going on with the transports. And one of the people in my mastermind group, he's really tuned into the logistical community. He says there might be a strike going on with the truckers or the longshoremen, the people that unload the boats from the east, Far East and things like that. So we got to keep an eye on that because if we quit getting goods, we're going to get more inflation. We're going to get scarcity again, and that's a problem. So, but let's see. Tesla's having a great week. 4 out of 5, actually 3 out of 5 good days this week, but up $16 yesterday on pretty decent volume. Tesla's going into that October 10th robo-taxi reveal event, which everybody's thinking it could be big. So therefore, who knows, maybe it's a dud, but I'm hoping it's big. You can see this is a beautiful uptrend on Tesla, just bouncing above the 50, bouncing above the 200. That's the kind of stuff you like if you're in a stock. Of course, it's still down, a little bit less than half off of its all-time high, but it's kind of grown up there. Apple, had that reveal a couple weeks ago. Their Consumer Electronics Show or whatever they call it, their Apple Developer Day. I don't even know what they call it anymore. They're coming out with the iPhone 16, but it's delayed a little bit, and so the stock went down. And then we've had like a couple of gap up days on good volume over the last couple of days. So it's going up to take out that 232.92 swing point if we can keep this market going, and then it's going to want to go to its all-time high. I don't think there's too much left in Apple after it goes to its all-time high, at least in the short term, but we'll have to see. Some people are saying, well, the iPhone 16, it's not that big a deal. It's got a camera, it's got got ability to make videos, and it's got some AI that potentially may get built into it, but it's not ready yet. So anyway, Apple is Apple, and it's got a bunch of revenue fingers, as I call them. And those revenue fingers make them all kinds of money, whether they sell phones or not, because people are stuck in that ecosystem, including me. All right, Amazon. Look at Amazon bouncing off the 200-day moving average 2 weeks ago when we talked about this, and now it's over the 50 on some decent volume, not great volume, but decent volume. And so it looks to me like it's trying to take out that 190.60. It hit it yesterday and it failed today. And if it takes out the 190.60, now we got 201.20 as an all-time high, and that's in play. NVIDIA. Everybody wants to know what's going on with NVIDIA. NVIDIA has got a lot of sellers that are still keeping it down, right? And so it's trying to stay above the 50-day moving average, but it's not doing that great a job. Nonetheless, I'm fairly bullish on NVIDIA. Look at that relative strength rating at 97. It's doing pretty well comparatively, and it's a good stock. I want to talk about one more, and that's MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor is really turned this company into a Bitcoin play, and he is borrowing money for cheap, like 0.625% borrowing when rates are, at 5%. And he's taking that money and he's buying Bitcoin. Now, his year-to-date yield on his Bitcoin, not that it pays a yield, but the increase in the yield, the increase in Bitcoin this year has been 17%. So it's amazing what it's doing this year. And of course, he's been buying it since like 29,000 all the way down into the teens. And I believe that Michael Saylor will be one of the wealthiest people in the world soon. He already is a billionaire, but he has the chance to become a trillionaire if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do. So MicroStrategy is a great play. It looks better than some of the other plays like Mara and Coinbase. If you can handle a little volatility, MicroStrategy is an interesting way to play Bitcoin. But be careful, because MicroStrategy is not the only way to play it. Bitcoin itself on a cold wallet is probably the best way to play it. But if you want to play it in the stock market, write calls against it, make some good money, that's what you can do. I have a newsletter. It's a free newsletter. It's called Insider Tips. You can get my market updates in there. You get everything in one shot. And then every once in a while, I'll do an exclusive release for all the members in there that other people don't see. So if you're not a member of that, just head on over to cashflowmachine.io/tips and get yourself signed up for that. And then you'll get something every Monday. What do we send out? Monday or Tuesday, something like that. And then you'll get the supplements that come out every once in a while. That is it from me. Enough yapping, right? Thanks again for being here. Hope you had a great week, and I hope you will continue to have a super weekend. And let's make some money next week. And if you can't make money next week, at least have a lot of love around you in your life, and life will be good. So thanks for joining me. I always appreciate you being here. Got any comments? Anything you want me to cover? Oh, you know what? Somebody wanted me to cover, I think it was Kava. So let me cover Kava real quick. Why not? Because I have a second here. So let's see. Kava. Can you see that? Let's take a look at Kava. Look at this thing. This is a gorgeous chart. I mean, we have a nice uptrend going on there, and then we have a gap away on earnings, and it's gapped away. It came back down. It gave some of that, and now it's at its all-time high. Kava has made a little consolidation in here. It's a bit of a chase, but it's early in this company's history. It's early in its life cycle. And so let's take a look at the weekly. Look at this weekly craziness, right? Here was the spot to buy it. We talked about it, right? At $100. If you were on this, you probably remember me talking about Kava. I think it's the Panera guys that are doing this company. So the stock has already gone up 20% from that breakout, which tells me that there's a high likelihood for a consolidation here. But if you want to pick it up somewhere in here, nibble away at it, there's a chance that it runs higher. So whoever asked me to do Kava, glad I was able to do it. If you got a comment, I love comments. If you like what I'm doing here, great. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me so I can get better. All right, listen, thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. See you.